Hey guys, how's it going? Today you are going to create a works cited page for your book club book. But before you get into doing that activity on your own, we are going to create an example works cited page using Columbine together with this video. Here are the supplies that you will need. A Columbine book, you'll need your journal, and the practice template that you can find on the coffee table in front of the couch. Now I want to go ahead and show you an example of what it's going to look like in your journal. Last year you created a works cited page for your research projects in Mr. Gonzalez's class. This year we're starting at the beginning of the year so that you can get in enough practice that you'll be confident with this process whenever you get into English 1301 and in your other college classes. I know last year you typed them, but we're going to write them right now for today's purposes. Okay, so turn in your journals to a fresh sheet. Okay. And then I want you to get the template out so that we can get all of our information collected and organized so that we can begin writing our works cited page in our journals. So the first thing I want you to notice on this practice template is there's one filled out on this side, which is an example. It has all the things that you would need to include in a works cited, but I want you to notice that not all of them are filled in. And I want to explain why. So at the top, we have author. We have title of the source. So that's the title of the book. Container 1, that is what the book is in, the first container. So we have title of the container, which we don't have an extra title. Other contributors, version number, publisher, publication date, and location. Some of this information, like title of container and other contributors, could include if our book was located in an anthology or if our story was located in one of our textbooks, which it is not. So we will be leaving that information blank. And if you notice down here, there's room for container 2. If our book was online and we needed to document our online source, which it is not. So those boxes will be blank for us as well. And then at the bottom, if you notice, there is an example works cited entry for us to reference during this process. So let's start on our own practice template using Columbine. Now the first thing it calls for is the author's name. And our author is Dave Cullen, okay? So whenever you're writing the author's name, make sure you do the last name first, comma, first name. Okay? Cullen, comma, Dave. Now we need the title of the source, which our title is just Columbine. So on the second line, we're going to write Columbine. Okay? Now remember we were talking just a second ago about containers. So if it was in another book, but this book stands alone, so it does not have a container that it's inside of. So that we will leave blank. Other contributors. Nobody else contributed to writing this book except for Dave Cullen. Version. We do not have a version or a number or those, because those two items go with like a magazine. Okay, so here we are at publisher. Obviously we have a publisher because we have a book. So let's open up and find who our publisher is. Here's our publisher. So we have the name of our book, our author, and our publisher is right down here. The name of the publisher is just 12. So let's come over here and write 12. Okay, publication date, turn the page, and we are looking for the most recent date. We have copyright at 2009 by Dave Cullen, and then we have afterward copyright at 2010 by Dave Cullen. Epilogue and Teacher's Guide copyright 2016, Reading Group Guide copyright 2010. Now we are trying to look for the copyright for the book, okay? Not the afterword, not the epilogue and the teacher's edition, not those extra things they added after the book was published. So our original book was published in 2009. So let's write in 2009. Okay. And then the location, if we look here, there's 12, Hatchet Book Group. Here's their address, New York, New York. Okay, so let's come over here to location and we'll write New York. Make sure you're capitalizing, watching those capital letters, New York. Okay, now, as I told you a second ago, we don't have a second container, right? This book is not online. We are actually touching our own version, and it's not inside anything else. So all of this is going to be left blank for us right now. Okay? Now let's put our book aside. Let's move our practice template over so we have the information. And let's start creating a works cited page. Now on the works cited page, the first thing we have to do is put our heading in the top left corner. Okay? MLA format states it goes in the top left corner. And it goes your name. Please make sure you write your name. Don't write your name. Then you need my name, because it goes the teacher's name. I am married, so it is Mrs. Then English 2, because it's the class period. And then the date. Okay? Then you're going to put your title, which our title is Work Cited. Now I want you to make a note right here, okay? We did not put an S, because an S is for when there's more than one. Remember, this is your example for you to reference, so make sure you're writing this too when you have more than one entry. But today we only have one entry, which is our Columbine, so we are not including an S, okay? So now we're going to start, if we look over here, we start with our author. And I want you to notice that in each of the boxes, it gives us the punctuation that goes after, so it goes author, period, title of source, period, title of container, which we don't have, comma, but if we jump down here, publisher, comma, publication date, comma, location, period. It tells us what goes after each thing. So there's a little cheat for us. So our author goes first. So we do, come over here, right here, do not indent. Okay, we're not indenting. Because remember, on our works cited, we do hanging indentation, which is the second line is indented. Colon, comma, Dave. Now what is that punctuation? Right there? It's a period, okay. Don't get dizzy on me, okay? Period. Okay, what goes next is right there, our title of the source. So going back over here, and we're going to write Columbine. Now remember, this is the title of the book, and it took a long time to write. So how do we punctuate it? Underline it, right? If we were typing, we would italicize. Now, after that is a period, because if we look over here, boom, that tells us that it's a period. Okay, so the next, we skip all of these because we don't have any of that. Next thing we have is the publisher, which is 12. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to write 12, comma, because that's what it had a comma. See that? Comma. Then 2009, comma. Now this is where we're going to indent. Hanging indentation, 2009, comma. And then our last piece of information we have, which is New York, New York, has the location, period. Okay? Watch your capital letters. I know how you funny bunnies like to skip out on those capital letters. New York, comma, and then these are both capitalized. New York, period. And there is our works cited entry for Columbine. Now you can create one for your own. And make sure that you and I expect some credit for not doing a video all the way through and having some transitions. Thank you.